Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Savannah Chrisley reverses her position on kids. Savannah Chrisley took over custody of her younger siblings, Chloe and Grayson Chrisley, when her parents, Todd and Julie, went to federal prison camps. Now that she's experienced being a parent, the Chrisley knows best alum reversed previous decisions she'd made about having kids. Savannah Chrisley wanted lots of kids. Todd's daughter wanted children, but when she heard about his long 12-year sentence for tax and fraud-related offenses, she told him she couldn't marry or raise children while he sat behind bars. Well, as it turned out, Chloe, her dad's adopted grandchild, and Grayson Chrisley keep her very busy. These days, more of her social media posts are about them, rather than long, lazy days dressing in clothing that makes her look hot. Christy knows best. Fans give Savannah Chrisley a hard time about the way she raises her siblings. In fact, some of them accuse her of being a terrible parent, especially with Chloe, who sometimes seems out of control. Actually, when her parents were famous for their reality TV show, some fans claimed that the kid was spoiled rotten by Todd and Julie. Chrisley knows best. Star reverses on having kids. People reported that the former USA Network star spoke on the Adversity Advantage podcast about having kids, and it seems that she got a massive wake-up call after parenting her two younger siblings. Bear in mind, she didn't hanker to become their mom. In her 20s, she looked forward to raising her own, and she said that she didn't mind how many God sends her. Savannah Chrisley seems to have dumped the idea of letting God send her any random number of children. In her discussion, she explained that she realized a lot of things about parenting. So it doesn't seem like she plans for hordes of kids. Savannah also said that raising her siblings definitely opened her mind to how important bringing a child into this world is. Notably, she learned that life is difficult with kids. After all, it's just made me realize that when that time does come for me to have kids, every little decision matters and impacts your child. For years, Savannah Chrisley stood firm on one thing: motherhood wasn't in her immediate plans. The reality star turned podcast host, whose life has been anything but traditional, often spoke candidly about the emotional toll her parents' legal troubles had taken, her responsibilities raising her younger siblings, and her fear that her chaotic world wasn't the place to bring a child into. But now, in a stunning twist that has fans and followers buzzing, Savannah is singing a new tune, and it's all about embracing the possibility of motherhood. I used to think having kids would be a mistake, Savannah admitted tearfully during a recent episode of her podcast Unlocked. But something in me has shifted. My heart's been changed. It wasn't a decision made overnight. It was a slow unraveling, a subtle transformation that began, ironically, not through glamorous photo shoots or celebrity events, but through the quiet, messy moments of parenting her younger brother Grayson and niece Chloe. When Todd and Julie Chrisley began their prison sentences, Savannah stepped in as their legal guardian, a role she hadn't asked for but shouldered with grit and grace. At first, I felt like I was just surviving, she confessed. Making lunches, helping with homework, calming them down when they missed mom and dad. I didn't have time to breathe, let alone dream about a family of my own. But as the months wore on, Savannah discovered something unexpected. She was good at this. Not perfect. She's quick to admit her stumbles, but devoted, present, and fiercely protective. There were nights I stayed up crying because Chloe had a nightmare or Grayson had a meltdown over missing a football game with Dad. Savannah said, but those same nights, I found a purpose I never had before. I stopped asking, why me? And started asking, what more can I do to love them through this? It wasn't lost on fans that Savannah's transformation paralleled her growing closeness with new boyfriend Nate Westwood, a Nashville entrepreneur and longtime friend who became a surprising source of stability. The two had kept things relatively low-key, but his gentle influence seems to have helped Savannah see motherhood the kind of man who doesn't flinch at chaos, she smiled. He'll walk into a kitchen full of dirty dishes, a screaming 10-year-old, and a dog chewing through the couch cushion, and still ask me how my day was. It was during a quiet moment on the back porch, watching Chloe chase fireflies barefoot through the summer grass, that Savannah said the revelation hit her. She turned and shouted, "Look, sassy. I caught one," and her eyes were just glowing. I thought, if this is what it feels like to be part of a child's wonder, how could I not want this someday? She paused. And I don't mean just someday in the vague, maybe when I'm 40 kind of way. I mean soon. Maybe not this year, but I'm not scared of the idea anymore. The shift marks a major evolution for the once party girl socialite, who, just a couple years ago, posted Instagram captions like, "Kids, I'll just borrow my friends and give them back after brunch." Now those same followers are watching Savannah share bedtime stories, science fair projects, and quiet dinners at home with the two kids she never expected to be raising. "She's gone from reality star to real-life superhero," said longtime friend and former co-star Nick Curdell's sister, Erin, who's remained close to the family. "Savannah's always had strength, but now it's anchored in something deeper, love that's not about the spotlight." Of course, fans are curious. Is she planning to adopt? Get pregnant? Expand her family officially? "Right now, I'm just open," Savannah explained. "Open to what God has in store. I've learned not to make concrete plans because life always throws you curveballs. But I'm not shutting the door on kids anymore. In fact, I think my heart has already made room." She's also keenly aware of the platform she holds and wants to use it to speak more openly about unconventional paths to motherhood. "Not everyone becomes a mom the normal way," Savannah said. "I didn't. I was handed two kids in the middle of a storm. But I've learned that love doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It shows up in the chaos. It shows up in the mess. It shows up when you least expect it and says, 'I'm here to stay.'" Perhaps one of the most touching moments came when Chloe, now 11, was asked at school to write about someone she admires. Her paper, which Savannah later shared on her Instagram story, read in part, "I look up to my sassy because she didn't give up on me. Even when she was tired or sad, she made me feel like I mattered." It was, Savannah says, the most beautiful affirmation she could have received. "No paycheck, no brand deal, no viral post compares to that," she said, her voice cracking. "If that's what motherhood feels like, then I want more of it." In a world where many young women are pressured to define themselves by timelines and social expectations, Savannah Chrisley's story is a refreshing reminder that love, purpose, and yes, even motherhood can emerge in the most unexpected seasons. As she put it simply, "I may have said never, but now I say maybe, and maybe even yes."